Hey Taurus, welcome to your weekly forecast for April 4th through the 10th. This is for Taurus, Sun, Moon, and Rising. You might stumble upon the video after the time frame I mentioned. That's just fine. You're going to find it whenever you're meant to find it, whenever it's time to hear the messages. This is a general reading. Not every single message will resonate. Take what does and leave what doesn't. If you like the cards that I'm using in this week's forecast, I just want to let everybody know that I'm going to be giving your own box, your own deck to each person that comes to the workshop I'm doing in Phoenix, Arizona on June 18th. So if you're interested in signing up for that and learning how to read tarot intuitively, link in the description for that. We have your first card here coming up, which is the Knight of Swords. The Knight of Swords can come up in a few different ways. It could be that you might be dealing with an air sign person. Air sign person is going to be Libra, Gemini, or Aquarius. If you have an air sign placement, there can be some big changes or big shifts happening for you in those areas of your life. The Knight of Swords can be either some kind of drama, or it could be things being sped up, things happening more quickly. If you have an air sign placement, I feel like whatever plans or ideas that you had for the future for that area of your life is being sped up. It's happening more quickly. If you don't have an air sign placement, this could be energy coming in where there's some catalyst that's causing you to have to make certain changes sooner than you had anticipated, right? Like maybe you were saying, maybe I'll stay at this job for another 4 months so that I hit my 2-year mark before I look for another job. But then they might come in and they might say, oh, guys, business is really slow. We got to cut everybody's hours. Everybody's going to be working less. Or vice versa. They might say we have a lot of work and not enough workers, and so everybody's got to put in overtime, and it's like way too much or not enough, one extreme or the other. And you might say, oh no, I'm going to get out of here right now. I'm not going to wait anymore. Ooh, this is a very specific message, and I want to be very cautious in how I say this because I want to continue to have a channel. They're already killing me on the algorithm. Oh my gosh, they're killing me on the algorithm. My views are so low right now already. As cautious as I try to be with what I say on here. Some of you are in the healthcare industry, okay? And in light of certain things that are happening right now, you might be feeling that it's going to be in your best interest to make some kind of a career change. There might be some things in light of recent developments and recent court rulings that there might be some kind of forms that you're being made to sign, or something you're being made to agree to, or they're telling you, oh well, you need to understand that if such and such happens, you're on your own, right? Like, we're not going to cover you, we're not going to defend you. This is completely and totally your fault. You might be asked to purchase some kind of malpractice policy or something, as if you were a doctor. There could be something like this that's coming all of a sudden in front of you for some of you who are in the healthcare industry. And that might be something that's making you decide that I don't want to do this anymore. Or maybe you're changing a major, some of you, if you haven't gotten your foot in that door just yet. It's a very, very intense message, but I have a rule. If Spirit gives me a message, I have to share it. I'm not allowed to edit, and so I'm being told to share that. It's not for every single one of you, obviously. But some of you might be in a situation where you're saying, no, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to make the career change now, or I'm going to change jobs now, or I'm going to move now, or whatever it is. There may be some kind of catalyst coming in for some of you. The next card coming up here for Taurus is the Six of Cups. Now, don't groan and don't get mad and don't start screaming at me and pounding on your keyboard, typing away angrily, saying you don't want to hear this nonsense. I know a lot of you are used to watching tarot for love and romance. And so, for that reason, Six of Cups gets typecast as an ex resurfacing or coming back into your life. And some of you are like, don't you dare come at me with that. I don't want to hear it. That person is dead to me. I'm done. I'm sick of all of you readers saying this. Okay, sometimes this card can mean somebody coming back from the past. It doesn't have to be romantic. But here in my channel, I don't focus on love and romance in the weekly forecast. We look at the cards in every other way. Love readings are done separate. Love readings for April are linked in the description of this video. Some of you could be reconnecting with an old friend. This could be a childhood friend. This could be somebody you used to hang out with that you haven't heard from a while, who's like, hey, sorry, life got busy. How have you been? There could be something like that, somebody resurfacing from the past. However, the Six of Cups goes much deeper than that. The Six of Cups can be strong inner child energy coming to the surface. Some of you might be very nostalgic, maybe having a lot of memories about the past, and this could be coming up to give you answers or guidance on what steps to take next. Okay? It could also be something that is really going to be giving you some healing, some release. For some of you, I feel it's going way, 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 way back into some past life stuff. Okay, I'll give you kind of spirits pushing me to say this. So I'm going to say this because it might be helpful for somebody out there. When I was a kid, I was obsessed with the harmonica, right? My dad was like, you're going to play an instrument. What instrument you want to play? I was like, harmonica. He's like, no, there's no such thing as harmonica lessons. I'm not getting you harmonica lessons. I was like, no, right? Especially with my culture and stuff. My parents were immigrants. Harmonica was very foreign to them. And I forgot about it. Right? Until years later, like it came up and I was just joking with a friend. I was like, I'm going to take harmonica lessons. I never did, but I started to listen to like old, like bluegrass music and folk music. And even though my family doesn't have any connection to it, or I don't culturally have connection to it, and it was very healing for me. It was very like it got me through a really like tough time. And I think that might be like a past life thing, right? I don't have any connection to any of that, but it unlocked something in me. Okay? And a lot of that was on my path that led me to tarot, believe it or not. And so there could be some memories you're having from your childhood that seem kind of random, but they're actually pointing you in the direction of like little things you don't even realize are going to be significant or relevant, that are helping you with your healing or helping you with your release or helping you like with inspiration or ideas. So there could be things that you think are random popping up in your mind, but they're not. Explore them, play with them a little bit, because it's like all the little pebbles are being put down for you to follow. All the little pebbles are being put down for you to find the next clue on the treasure hunt, so to speak. So pay attention to your memories. One thing I will say, don't get too stuck in the past, because if we're constantly in the past mentally, it will cause us to start to get depressed or to feel sad. So take some breaks and come back to the present moment. Take some breaks and make sure you're in the present moment, so that you're not starting to feel overly nostalgic or sad that you're not in the past. Try to come back to the present. So work on grounding yourself this week, Taurus. Take little breaks, like grounding breaks, even if you think you don't need it. Maybe say, okay, I'm going to check in with myself and ground myself 3 times a day. I'll do it in the morning before I start the day. I'll do it in the afternoon, midday, and then I'll do it at night before I go to sleep. Try that this week. Try to like just check in with yourself and set 3 times a day that you're just going to do a quick little grounding, and see how that helps your mood and your clarity, and your thinking, your ideas, your inspiration. I feel like there's going to be bursts of creativity coming up for Taurus also connected to childhood memories. The next, oh, and don't forget, creativity is linked to intuition, right? So, intuitive people are very creative, and creative people are very intuitive. Okay, you might not see it, you might not realize it, but it's starting to come to the surface for some of you. Next, we have Ten of Wands, and Ten of Wands can come up in a couple of different ways. It can come up when we're feeling stressed. I'm gonna move the lighting here just a second. All right, that's better. Ten of Wands can come up when we're stressed and we're taking way too much on our shoulders and we need to delegate or we need to put a burden down. And that can be the case for some of you. However, in this instance, with the Knight of Swords and the Six of Cups, this is giving me a feeling and a vibe, and I'm hearing the word a job well done. Maybe something you were working on for a very long time is finally coming to fruition. You're finally completing it. You're completing the project or the goal. You're reaching the finish line. A job well done. You've gained experience. You've gained new tools. For some of you, there's something you've been holding on to way too long, that you've been procrastinating, that Spirit is saying it's time for you to release this. So, what I mean by that is you've had some idea that you haven't been acting on for a very long time. And it's getting to the point where Spirit is saying you have to do it now. You have to do it now. It's time for you to stop holding on to it, unleash it, let it out there, put it out there. So maybe for some of you, this could be you have an idea for an invention that might help improve the world somehow. You might have the idea for some kind of an app or some kind of a service. You might have an idea for a book. You might be wanting to tell your story. You may have some creative ideas of something you're wanting to put out there. And the Ten of Wands is in this instance, like you need to allow yourself to do it. All of the things that you kept telling yourself you have to work on first, you're done doing the work. Now is time to take the next steps. Now is the time to graduate to the next thing or to the next level. I don't normally get this feeling from the Ten of Wands, but in this sense I'm almost getting a Two of Swords vibe from it, in that there's some procrastination here, and Spirit is saying quit procrastinating and get moving, get going. Right? So it's kind of like it's time for you to take the steps you've been guided to take. Maybe for some of you, this Ten of Wands is like a big old bundle of distractions that you're using as an excuse to hide behind. Like, oh, I can't do it because of this and I can't do it because of that. And Spirit is saying, false, nope, let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go. It's go time. That's the feeling and the vibe I'm getting from the Ten of Wands. In fact, this might be why there's a catalyst coming in. Right? If this guy saw this guy, running, he would drop that and he would go running, right? He'd say, okay, I'm going to put this down, right? Going to get out of here. So it might be a good idea for you to ask yourself, what are some ideas that I have that I keep putting off? And which one of these ideas seem to be pulling at me more? Pay attention to that. That's a form of listening to your intuition. Okay, this keeps tugging at me. This is what I need to start focusing on. This is what I need to start moving forward with. Your next card here, Taurus, is the Lovers. And this could be Gemini energy, okay? If you have a Gemini placement, there can be big changes or big shifts happening for you in those areas of your life. The Lovers card also comes up when we're looking at choices or decisions. Sometimes the Lovers card comes up because we have to ask ourselves, what do we want? Like, what's most important to us? What do we want? And what are we willing to do to get it? So in other words, do you feel like you're working for something too hard? The Lovers card also came up for Pisces. Some of you could be dealing with a Pisces. You could have a Pisces placement. When it came up for Pisces, it came up with the feeling that some of them were going after a goal or a dream that um, was beginning to affect their health negatively. And so it was kind of like, is this really worth it? Should I really be focusing on this? Should I really be, doing this when it's robbing me of my health? The 10 of Wands can also have that aspect of you're pushing yourself way too hard and draining yourself, and it could affect you negatively in terms of your health because you're so stressed and so tired. So this could be like a repeating message. If you have a Pisces placement, I strongly, strongly, strongly suggest you take a moment to ground yourself, to check in with yourself, and ask yourself, like, just do a quick little scan through your body. How am I feeling right now? How am I feeling when I think about my daily activities? How am I feeling when I think about work? Because sometimes we're so stuck in autopilot, we're ignoring our body. We're ignoring our signals until our body just says, I can't do this anymore, and, takes a, takes a dump out on us. So some of you might be working yourselves to exhaustion and not even realizing it. So especially if you have a Pisces placement, I strongly suggest that you check in with yourself and see how you're feeling. It doesn't mean that you have to give up your goal or you have to give up your dream. It just means that you maybe need to start looking into pursuing it in a different way, in a way that's not so demanding of you, or in a way that's not draining you so much. But the Lovers card, when the tarot was first put together, it wasn't called the Lovers. Some decks called it the Choice, some decks called it the Decision or the Sacrifice. So it can be a card that comes up when we really have to ask ourselves, what do we want and what are our deal breakers? You might be redefining your idea of success. You might be redefining your idea of hard work, and you might be revisiting your relationship with things like work and money, right? Like you're realizing things shouldn't have to be so hard, or you shouldn't have to push yourself to such extremes. You may want to check out your moon sign and rising sign videos. Some weeks your moon sign or rising sign might resonate more than your sun sign, or they could just add a little extra information that can be helpful for you. If you would like to schedule a private reading with me, you can do so by clicking the link in the description of the video that takes you to calendly.com/amethystangelite and schedule a private reading with me there. The sign up for the workshop is also through Calendly if you would like to purchase a seat for the class. It is limited space, so I don't know how long the tickets will be available. I don't know, how quickly people are going to be signing up, but it is limited seating. So if you're interested in that, you can schedule or book through Calendly as well. Love readings for April are linked in the description. I thank you all for watching, liking, sharing, commenting, subscribing. Have a wonderful week, my dears. Take care.